Good morning, people. On behalf of Operation Rock, I am Clayton here with another broadcast into my unfortunate domestic dispute with the woman who happens to be shown on the screen. This is my ex girlfriend, Francina Evans, which you see with the backdrop of the Richmond County DA's office, Staten Island's own Michael McMahon. The point of this broadcast today, people, is to, as I have continually done over the last few days, highlight the just complete pathological lies told by this woman in her attempt to get revenge on me for what actually happened in our relationship. Domestic violence is real, people, and sometimes when you have an offender who is so obsessed with your destruction, there's really nothing you can do about it other than just deal with it. The problem becomes when you get an offender who is so obsessed with your destruction that they will do anything in their power to destroy you. And as recently as last week, I discovered definitively that my offender has been using the domestic violence records of my late father to try to have me, unfortunately, mistakenly diagnosed as a diagnosed schizophrenic. Now, I know why she would do this because by convincing the public at large that I'm a diagnosed schizophrenic, people would be more inclined to believe her than I'm actually after her and trying to hurt her. Now, the sad part is, ladies and gentlemen, is that I have not been my own best friend, let's say, in this fight, considering what she's done. Because I was angry, people, and I had a reason to be angry. When someone does something this sick to you with regard to trying to hurt you, when they are so willing to destroy you, that they would actually be un publicly publicly, I would say, God, I can't even remember the word right now, but when they would be releasing to the public the domestic violence records of your parents, people, that's some sick shit. I just got to say it. I was thinking of another word to not curse, but people, it is what it is. It's some sick shit. And it's surprising because look how this girl is an attractive girl, but she seems to be so obsessed with destroying me for things that I actually did not do, people, that she is willing to totally destroy her life and any chance she has at happiness by lying on me. And unfortunately, it seems like she's willing to take some pretty important people down with her. Because as you see, this woman was backed by the Richmond County DA's office when they falsely charged me with being an offender against her. What happened was is that this woman went into Staten Island after she lost a trial where I was awarded, excuse me, a lifetime New Jersey final restraining order with complete stay away edition conditions and a thousand feet keep away, which means she can't come anywhere within 1,000 feet of me. Within 4 days of that decision, she goes to Staten Island, files false charges stating that the decision from New Jersey was a lie and that I lied on her. And because Staten Island is inherently racist and bigot, they back this girl as the marketable offender and the girl who seemed to be more socially, skin color wise, friendly. And they arrested me even though I was the victim in a domestic violence offense, which is federally protected. They arrested me. So now, once they arrest me, they empower Francina with what she comes up with as her new movement called Breaking Up is Not a Crime. And ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is actually her being honored at St. John's University by the Staten Island's DA's office for Victim of the Year, for Victims' Rights Weeks. They honored this girl, this pathological liar. They chose to honor her because they hated my black skin so much. They chose her as a woman and as clearly far more lighter than me as the marketable defendant. And here it is, proof again, people's same bouquet of flowers. Here is the Richmond County DA's office actually honoring an offender they knew was a victim of they knew was the defendant in a domestic violence order where I was the victim. Staten Island, its propensity to be a racist institution like it is and full of bigots and Uncle Toms, they backed this marketable liar. And they began to harass the living hell out of me and made me fight prosecutorial offenses for over a year because they backed and honored a pathological liar with an order of protection against her. Now, people, the point of this broadcast is to highlight several things. One is to highlight the connections it seems this woman has with important officials on Staten Island. Um, People, one, this is my offender with Charles Fall. As you can see, that's her with Charles Fall. People, this is my offender with Amoy Bonds. People, this is my offender with Malcolm Penn and and Perry, Penn and Perry. People, that's her being honored by the DA's office again, Penn and Perry, Amoy Bonds, Charles Fall. I can't remember who this woman is, but people, you see all of this, people. Terry Troy, and this one was honestly kind of hurtful because I know Terry Troy personally. Terry Troy smiles in my face like she loves my mom. I actually saw this woman within the last 90 days when I ran into a woman at the precinct actually filing charges against Francina for something she had done. I called Terry Troy because this woman was homeless and this woman had a small daughter. And me having a small daughter, it kind of touched me because the little girl was in the precinct playing with cars and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to do what kids do, play, and it touched me. So I knew Terry Troy, who runs Project Hospitality. This woman was going to a Project Hospitality shelter, and the precinct was going to make her sit there like 4 hours until the shelter opened at 10 o'clock. I thought that was wrong, considering I know Terry Troy personally. I called her, seeing if it was something she could do to help people, trying to be a good person. Reach out to Terry Troy. Terry Troy comes to the precinct. Terry Troy tells me, "Yo, Clayton, this is a good thing you did. Thank you." I know Terry Troy. I've tried to do many good things with Terry Troy over the years since my mother passed. So it was kind of hurtful to realize that Francina and Terry Troy know each other. And I'm positive with all the hateful things this young, sick woman has done to me, Terry Troy had a conversation with her. But Terry Troy is so fake, people, that Terry Troy said in my face and never said a word to me. So I guess that in this picture right here ends my relationship with Terry Troy. But it is what it is, people. God is good. So let's go. We see Francina with these officials. As you can see, Staten Island honored her after she was convicted of a domestic violence offense for harassment and burglary. And here she is with Penn and Perry, the same two assholes. I'm sorry, people, I was doing good. The same two young men that'll tell everyone they didn't back Francina. But people, she's a pathological liar. Here she is with them again. And I don't think they wear the same clothes, people. This was after she got convicted for harassing me. Next, people, here's her with Amoy Barnes, a woman who sat at my mother's funeral. How fake is that? People, here's her with Charles Fall, another guy who sat at my mother's funeral. People, how fake is that? That all of these people could see proof that this woman is stealing the domestic violence records of my dead mother, who they all claim to love and be friends for. But they won't do anything against this girl who is stalking and harassing her only son because he happened to use some profanity. So because Francine is the more marketable victim for them, people, guess what? They've ignored the fact that she has a federally protected domestic violence order against her and allowed her and assisted her in lying on me for the last 2 years. This is a very, very painful thing for me, people, but I'm a soldier. I'm going to make it. Terry Troy hurt me, people. So that's her in Mount Sinai Church, people. Let's keep going. I like to highlight her in Mount Sinai Church, people, for one reason and one reason only, people. And that reason is this. Let me get to there. Hold on. That reason is this, people. That reason is how she gave this speech in Mount Sinai Church with regard to Victor Brown. Where are we? 8 minutes. We got 2 minutes left. She gives this speech in Mount Sinai Church, people. And again, I want to highlight for you. I want to go back really quick. I got to be quick with this. Oh, no, don't do that. And again, people, I need to highlight for you how she gave that speech in that church. And ba 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 ba. Is that it? Yep. Here she goes again with the family in the church. And people, this was today. This was actually not, excuse me, yesterday. This was Easter Sunday. So people, for this girl to still be accepted in this church after standing before this church and lying using my mother and father's domestic violence records and also the medical records from a court of my father to lie to an entire congregation, which she definitely did here, and tell them that I beat my deceased mother. I beat my deceased mother. People, this is sick, but this church supports this pathological liar. What demonic entity is run by this man, Dick Brown, that this girl could stand before this pulpit and lie to them like this bad, accusing a woman who preached to them of her son abusing her, stealing the medical records of his father. People, if what I'm saying is true from the proof I put online, this people, this entire speech given before this church, and I'm gonna blow it up just in case people can't see it. This entire speech she gave at this church was a lie. Why has no one said anything about the fact in this church that this girl stood before this church? People, it's the same church, and this is today. No one said anything about the fact that this woman has lied this badly before this church. People, this is sick. Francina Evans is a sick young woman, and she needs to be stopped, people. Again, forgive me, people. I was angry. This girl did some horrible things to me to hurt me, people, but I have a right to be angry when someone is doing everything this woman is doing. She has lied through her teeth just to get revenge on me for doing something I had to do for my own peace, which was leave her in her messed up family situation. People, on behalf of Operation Rock, spread the message: stop intimate partner stalking. Help me expose Francina Evans and the people around her who are granting her the power base and the support she needs to steal false documentation and be socially accepted. People, Victor Brown knew my mother for 30 years. You really think that he didn't know my late mother and I had never had an order of protection against her? You really think that Pastor Brown did not have conversations with my late mother and she told him about my father's condition because my mother knew? People, I never knew. But my mother, I know my mother knew that what was wrong with that man because I know someone told her about that information Francina saw. The sad part is that there are people helping her defame my mother so greatly that they would help her get information like this to put out falsely against her son just to receive some type of support. People, that is sick and wrong. Help me expose Francina Evans. Help me expose Victor Brown. Help me expose Melissa Thomas, Malcolm Penn, and Malcolm Perry and Mike Penn. People, help me expose and break the power structure of people who are supporting this convicted liar and offender who is so obsessed with me. She stole my parents' records to try to falsely convince the public at large that this is me. People, I need this stuff to stop. I just need her to go away. People, that is all I want. Help me stop Francina Evans. Thank you for listening and have a